For many women, sex during the first trimester is a time when they're feeling into their bodies. They may not be feeling so well. Not every woman feels icky during their first trimester, but about 50 to 75% experience something called morning sickness, which there's a little myth about that, but it's not just in the morning, it lasts all day, and you feel exhausted a lot of times. So sex can actually be the last thing on your mind. But for the male partner, it's usually a time where he feels very virile and feels as if he's created something, so it's a time where his sex drive is very high. So what I recommend for many women during the first trimester is to lay back and relax and allow him to do the work. I was very fortunate during my first trimester, even though I had really bad morning sickness and spent about 18 hours a day in bed just feeling awful. I made a point with my partner to keep our sensuality going. And what he would do for me was like nipple stimulation. So every day stimulating my nipples, and my nipples at that time felt really good. They were a little bit more tender, but having that stimulation helped my body to produce something called oxytocin, which is the love hormone, the bonding chemical. And by having that extra bonding with him, it allowed me to keep my sexual energy or my sexual sensation in my body going. And then having clitoral stimulation, which also is an oxytocin producer. Every day we would make a point to do breast massage and clitoral stimulation so that I could keep all of that feeling really good in my body, and he loved doing it for me. It was something that he got a lot of pleasure out of because we could still be intimate and we could still bond and we could still connect in that way, but we didn't necessarily have to have intercourse. But giving me massages or treating me to, like, my feet became so orgasmic, and I've heard of women during their pregnancy just having exquisite orgasms from having their feet massaged. So that was something else that I loved. And what I think is most important during that first trimester is realizing and being easy with yourself that you're growing a baby and that you may feel tired, you may feel exhausted, and to take that time to really receive and surrender and allowing yourself to be vulnerable. And for men to realize that if you want to stay connected in that way and you're really feeling that high sexual energy, that there are other things that you can do for her, such as nipple stimulation, clitoral stimulation, giving her massages, staying in that intimate connection, and also self-pleasuring for yourself. So that was something also that we did, was like mutual masturbation, so that I could do clitoral stimulation and then he could also do self-touch. That was very erotic, even though I wasn't in the mood, but it kept my energy flowing and really actually helped the nausea and helped me feel better ultimately, because I wasn't feeling sexy and I wasn't feeling that energy. But once we got going and we got the nipple stimulation and the clitoral stimulation going, I started feeling much better and got some color to my cheeks and some blood flowing and my energy up. So that first trimester overall is just recognizing that you may feel tired, you may not feel sexy, and allowing your partner to really take care of you as a woman. And for men to realize that this is a really intense and really tender time for your partner, and so taking care of her, you doing the work. And if you are in the mood for intercourse, that, you know, just letting her lay back and letting her really just soak in and not really have to do much work per se, and you doing more to please her, which ultimately pleases you. Those would be my biggest tips for the first trimester of pregnancy.